project.
January, Universal Century, year 0079. The space colonies of Side 3, declaring themselves the Duchy of Zeon, launched a war of independence against the Federated Union of Earth. At the same time, the Zeon forces undertook Operation British, an attempt to drop a space colony onto Earth. Target, Jabrau Base, headquarters of Earth's federal forces in South America. However, after the colony entered the atmosphere, it was destroyed over the Arabian Peninsula. The largest remaining piece of the colony hurtled toward Earth and struck Sydney, Australia, instantly transforming the city into a huge gulf. The Duchy of Zeon, based on space colonies, didn't have the raw materials needed to fight an extended war. With the failure of Operation British, a war was now inevitable, so they embarked on a plan to land on the Earth to secure the materials it needed. With blitzkrieg speed, they seized 2/3 of the Earth's surface. Even Australia, which bore the worst scar of the Operation British disaster, fell under Zeon attack for its natural resources. The Federal Forces Division in Australia, already badly battered by the disaster, could do nothing to repel them. It's been 11 months since the war began. The Earth's Federal Forces counteroffensive in Europe, Operation Odessa, has been a total success. Across the Earth's surface, the military balance is swinging heavily to the Federal Forces' side, and across the globe, one counteroffensive after another has been successfully launched. And in Australia, which took the brunt of Operation British's damage, a counterattack against the Zeon forces has just begun to unfold as well.
Mike Dingoes, you have an emergency mission. As I'm sure you know, the revised counterattack plan against the Zeon forces we've decided on consists of a simultaneous attack on the Darwin region in the north, the city of Adelaide in the south, and Alice Springs in the central region. The invasion of Alice Springs in the central region is what we're calling the signal to begin the operation. Our aim is to not only cut the enemy's rail lines, but to also deliver a decisive blow and weaken the strength of all their forces around the world. Currently, our primary corps, better known as Red Possum, is doing its utmost to engage them. However, a problem has recently cropped up in Rainbow Valley. Our reconnaissance forces have confirmed that the enemy's defense line has more anti-air and ground emplacements than we had first anticipated. Unfortunately, it looks like the enemy somehow found out how we'd begin our counterattack. For the rest of the operation to work, we must avoid exhausting all of Red Possum's strength here. However, their advance mustn't be slowed either. That's why we're going to insert you white dingoes into Rainbow Valley by air. Your presence is essential if we're going to stand a fighting chance against these fearless marauders. Your top priority is to neutralize those enemy ground and anti-air emplacements. Make sure Red Possum's advance is swift and successful. Due to the mission's timing, a tank battalion headed toward the front will arrive in the battle zone during your mission. We've been waiting for this opportunity for too long now. The future of the Federation is in your hands. You people are the best ones for this job. I expect to see you complete it quickly and decisively.
We're about to move out. Get a final. Before we do, let's get a final confirmation on our mission code names for everyone. Lieutenant Rare, the mobile suit you're in is designated Fang 1. Leon's unit is Fang 2. Mike's unit is Fang 3. My hover truck has been designated as Oasis. Please remember that.
Fang 2, Leon, roger that.
Fang 3, Mike here, roger.
So, yeah, Anita's code name is gonna be Oasis. Kinda ironic, isn't it?
Hey, wait, what's that supposed to mean?
Hey, just kidding. It's a very appropriate name for our dear Anita. The lovely flower of the battlefield.
You better watch your back out on that battlefield.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Would you guys please knock it off with all that chatter? Lieutenant, can't you say something to them?
It's almost time to go. I'm here trying to get the mobile suit ready to move out for the operation. So if you got any suggestions, just let me know, all right? GM cannon. It has a cannon gun mounted on its right shoulder, intended as a medium-range support mobile suit. It has thicker armor at many points than most GMs, but be aware that that'll cost you some mobility. Better carefully consider what kind of mission you've got before you choose this one. Here it is, the RGM-79GM. This is the Federal Force's first mass production mobile suit that's fully equipped. It's not as good as the original RX-78 Gundam model, but works better as a multi-role unit. I think it's a lot more capable than the enemy's outdated Zaku suits. GM. So you're taking... Okay, how do you want it equipped? So you're taking this one. Okay, how about a shield? A standard issue Federal Forces shield. Very durable, and it provides excellent coverage. When involved in a ground battle, go with a small shield. It's not as durable, doesn't give as much overall coverage as a large shield, but it's perfect for close-in combat. So you take Lieutenant Raya. Is this the unit and the equipment you want? So you take... Lieutenant Raya. Is this the unit and the equipment you want? All right. Now that you've finished equipping your suit, you're all ready to get out there and face your next sortie. See you, Lieutenant Raya. Got my fingers crossed for you.
Dingoes, we're at the drop point now. All set? Hatch open. Good luck, guys.
Confirmed down. No problems. Minovsky particle output at combat density. I'm not picking up any large-scale movement in the enemy area. It seems like we may have caught them off guard. A meteor shower. Remnants of the colony drop.
Maybe they're the souls of all those that were killed in the drop, drawn back by the Earth's gravity. Wow, what an incredible sight to behold.
Mike, you sound like a poet.
Don't make fun of what I said. I'm totally serious. This land here is charged with the power of hatred for the Zeon. I can feel it in my bones, too.
The power from the dead, is that what you're talking about? You mean the Zeon woke up a sleeping lion, don't you? Except we're dingoes, not lions. Dingoes are dogs. Don't you remember? Lieutenant, let's get started, immediately.
Yeah, I'll show those Zeeks just how much power I got.
Fang 3. Enthusiasm's good, but don't let it get in the way of teamwork. Fang 1. I'll be waiting for your instructions. This is Oasis. Lieutenant, let's start off right by taking out those annoying anti-air and ground emplacements.
This is Fang 3. The scenery here is so beautiful, there's no room for ugly armor like mine. I need it for battles.
Fang 2, roger.
Fang 3, roger that.
Oasis here, roger that. Oasis to Fang 1. I'm picking up a contact signal from a civilian building. Checking it out. Lieutenant! The enemy's been completely destroyed. Looks like we won.
This mission turned out to be a piece of cake for guys as good as us.
There were too few of them for a properly deployed defense line. Something's fishy.
What do you mean, Leon? This was all some big feint on the enemy's part? I think you're overthinking things.
Good job on the last mission. White Dingoes should be proud. Sorry, it's a little soon, but here's your next one. White Dingoes will now commence entering the occupied city of Alice Springs as reconnaissance for the main Red Blossom Force. You will then initiate attack on the enemy troops. When you do, your top priority will be to destroy the pillbox clusters in the hills to the north and south of the city, which are the biggest obstacles that the main force will face when entering there. Since this city is located in the central region of the continent, it was fortunately protected from the worst of the colony drop disaster, meaning there are many civilians still there. Take the utmost care and precaution while in the area so as not to endanger them. This especially applies to the water tanks, which are the lifelines for the city and the surrounding area. If they're destroyed, even if we manage to take the city from the Zeon, it'll make supporting it afterwards very difficult. Exercise extreme caution on this one. I wish you all the best of luck in this battle.
Captain, I have some intel for you. According to the information I got from the Wombat resistance group that we encountered on our last mission, Zeon transport trains will move through Alice Springs within the next few days. They don't have any details as of yet, but there's a distinct possibility that they're transporting something very important.
There is a chance that we may run into one of these trains during the battle. I wonder what they've got inside.
Rumor has it that as the Zeon forces began to show signs of defeat, they started loading up their resources and are secretly transporting them somewhere out into space. These shipments may be part of that plan if my sources are not mistaken. They may even be carrying some sort of vital resource for all we know. Lieutenant, I think we should consider stopping those trains that we happen to run across if we're going to see this through. Don't you think so?
Well, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. After all, the trains may not even show up during our mission.
You really are irresponsible, aren't you? However, there's still a possibility that those trains won't even show up. So why don't we stick to headquarters' original plan and concentrate our efforts on destroying those pillboxes and breaking through?
Hey there, Lieutenant Rhea. Well, what do you know? We're finally on our way. I guess the brass just doesn't understand how long it takes to do maintenance on these things while we're on the front lines. Well, as long as you leave it to me, I'd be sure to have it ready to go no matter how little time they give us. That's one thing you don't have to worry about. All right, now that you've finished equipping your suit.
Lieutenant Rayer, I'm convinced that the last battle we were engaged in was just a delaying tactic on our enemy's part. When you stop and think about it, this mission they gave us is pretty darn reckless. Sending in a force as small as ours before the main attack force arrives is far too dangerous. Then again, if it turns out that the enemy's strength becomes divided because they're trying to buy themselves time for some reason, then what we're doing may be coming as a surprise to them and work after all. I think that finding out why the enemy's trying to delay us will have a greater benefit to our future missions. That's the reason why I think the commander ordered us to go on such a risky mission in the first place. He's counting on our abilities. Anyway, we should be extremely cautious when carrying out this operation.
Hey, Lieutenant Rayer, were you listening to the radio just now? Jacqueline, that sweet battlefield flower was coming in loud and clear. I recorded her last transmission. Take a listen.
Hi there, all you brave Federation soldiers listening out there. Are you all okay? Your Jackie's doing great, thanks in large part to all of your brave efforts. Now, as you all probably know by now, the Federation has finally begun its long-awaited battle for justice and liberty here in Australia as well. And I even heard from very reliable sources that they scored early victories in many places soon after the opening salvos against the Zeon forces. Still, if you are going to do this, I wish you'd start a little sooner. Is it wrong to be selfish like that? Sorry, guys. Anyway, keep up the good work. Jackie's rooting for you here. And now, our next song is...
Woo! She's really got great stuff, don't you think? I love Jacqueline's show. I'll take the next one for you too if you want. Oh yeah, by the way, Lieutenant, if you could, don't mention any of this to Anita. She sort of considers Jacqueline her personal enemy, if you can believe that. Man, I wish she'd just lighten up.
Lieutenant, like Commander Stanley informed us, there are many civilians still in the Alice Springs metropolitan area. I think a lot of them stayed in the center of the city because the Zeon valued the civilians who worked in the occupation base and let them live safely in exchange for their full cooperation. I think it's best if we avoid the center of the city so we can minimize any damage we do. We can then liberate the entire area after the outlying areas have been secured and disarmed.
And if we do any fighting in the city center, we have to be careful not to frag any water tanks, right? Okay, got it.
Man, with everything else we have to worry about, now we have to concern ourselves with that too? Okay, should we try crashing this tea party?
Fang 1, requesting orders from you. This is Oasis. I'm proceeding as per HQ's plan, and I'm presently searching for the enemy. Since I expect sound tracking will be hard in a city spread out like this, I'm going to hold my position here for a minute. Requesting assistance.
Fang 2, roger.
Fang 3, roger that.
This is Oasis. Have completed the search. That's strange. We expected this to be a reinforced area.
Jup. When you do, you...
Lieutenant Rayer, is this the unit and the equipment you want? Brilliant. Okay, how do you want it? Brilliant. Okay, how? Brilliant. Is that all you want, Ensign Mike? Brilliant. Okay. The main appeal of this thing is brilliant. Okay, how about a shield? Brilliant. Taking this one. Is that all you want, Ensign Leon? All right. Now that you've finished equipping your suit, you're all ready.
Lieutenant, like Commander Stanley informed us, there are many civilians still in the Alice Springs metropolitan area. I think a lot of them stayed in the center of the city because the Zeon valued the civilians who worked in the occupation base and let them live safely in exchange for their full cooperation. This is Oasis. I'm proceeding as per HQ's plan, and I'm presently searching for the enemy. Since I expect sound tracking will be hard in a city spread out like this, I'm going to hold my position here for a minute. Requesting assistance.
officer in charge. We have no desire to fight a hopeless battle any longer. As I'm sure you know, there are many civilians living here in the Alice Springs metropolitan area. From our point of view, fighting a battle here would be a tragedy that would undoubtedly benefit neither side. We hope you can see our position. Therefore, we are now prepared to leave the city and hand it over to you. Our conditions are that we must be able to pull out without incident. Rest assured, until we are out of here and have established ourselves in neutral territory, we will not attack you in any way. Of course, if you attack us, we will have no further choice but to respond accordingly. I believe you would prefer to settle this situation in a peaceful and fair manner, as I've just laid out for you.
Got it all planned, hasn't it?
What? You mean to tell me they didn't want to fight us in the first place?
When you think about the damage we might do to the city, these conditions really don't sound that bad. What should we do, Lieutenant? Lieutenant, I confirm that the remaining enemy forces are definitely retreating from the battle zone. The battle's over.
I guess I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, the Zeeks still have the overwhelming advantage all across the continent, but they pulled out of this place so quickly, I really haven't figured out what to make of it. I've got a bad feeling about this.
I wonder what their abandoning this position will mean for the war in the long run, and for the possibility of any kind of peace process. Maybe it'll have no meaning at all.
And then there was that train. Do you think it was really just a troop transport, or could it have been something else?
We'll just have to wait until the intelligence boys and the main force get back to us about this.
The more I think about it, the more it really bugs me. Anyway, our mission's finally complete. We retook the city and drove out the enemy troops there. We were even successful in taking out the Wild Thunderer Zeon. I'd call that pretty much a success.
Oh, yeah. Let's leave it to the guys upstairs to worry about all of the complicated stuff. Anyway, I believe the Lieutenant's decision was the right one after all.
Lieutenant Bish, glad to see you. The train, unfortunately, was destroyed.
I see. Besides that, it seems that I lost my favorite suit today. I lost my edge. That Fetty mobile suit team we came across before, I've got to admit that they were pretty damn good. And their platoon commander seems to be pretty good as well. A skilled pilot at the very least. He may become a very real threat to us.
Proud of all of you. Great job at Alice Springs, my dingoes. I don't know how you did it, but you captured a crucial strategic position ahead of the main force. Just what I'd expect from BB signature members. So far, it's clear from the intelligence you've gathered after what's happened at Alice Springs that the enemy's making a concerted effort to retreat. However, we still cannot say if Zeon troops are planning to retreat fully from this continent. Taking the cities of Darwin in the north and Adelaide in the south will be extremely difficult, as we face stiff resistance from the enemy on all fronts of each city. Currently, our main Red Possum force is being split into two parts, each of which will now turn towards the continent's northern and southern regions for active reinforcements. Through your actions, we've been able to bring a great level of force to bear against these two polarized positions. From here on in, our attack plan should run smoothly. However, we have intelligence that's just come in which seems to indicate that a GAU assault carrier is flying out of Darwin base to the north. We don't know the exact reason for this action, but its projected flight path shows a high probability that it'll pass over the Red Possum Division, which is headed south toward Adelaide. Repercussions could be devastating. If we let things stand, there's a possibility that our reinforcements headed for Adelaide will be attacked. You people are to scramble immediately. The plan is for you to intercept that flight at Simpson's Gap at all costs. To help you take down that GAU, we'll be issuing you the latest beam rifles for this dangerous mission. If you manage to hit its engines with one of these babies, even a GAU can't stay in the air for very long. I have every confidence you'll pull this off.
News. We finally got a report on that train that's been the cause of so much worry. Burst Liner. It's a high-output beam cannon developed by the Federation for its fleet of mobile suits. The only prototype in existence was stolen, and it was shipped to somewhere in Australia by way of the California base.
So, it turns out that it was a good thing we destroyed that train. If we went up against that thing, our mobile suits wouldn't stand a chance, and they'd end up being roasted like turkeys for Christmas dinner.
You're sure thinking ahead there, aren't you, Mike? Christmas isn't for at least another month yet. Besides, if they decided to barbecue you, more than likely it would be that the Zeeks would just lose their appetites.
Huh. Why, you... Well, anyway, it looks like the Lieutenant actually ended up making the right decision that time.
Exactly. Sometimes in war you have to resort to decisions that on the surface seem unfair. I have a feeling that more and more things from off this continent are eventually going to be smuggled in here. Zeon forces are left with no choice. This is the only path they have to get home. Lieutenant, I think that everything we do from now on may have a big impact on the war situation, and we have to keep that in mind, whatever course of action we choose.
It's so like you to blow everything out of proportion. One mobile suit team can't change the entire war situation.
I wouldn't say that. I've been hearing rumors that an autonomous unit has been doing so well for the Federation that it's changing the war situation by itself, if you can believe that. Haven't you heard about them?
Oh, yeah. I saw something about how a bunch of kids with prototype mobile suits and a new class of ship are out there really kicking some serious butt. Come on, that's a load of bull, right?
Maybe it is. Anyway, Lieutenant, let's make sure we bring that gal down on this